Awakening your everyday wisdom. Today's topic is spiritual mission. This is for people who already know they're on a spiritual mission, as well as those of us who are just starting to wake up and realize it. And if you're concerned that things in the world aren't quite right and you're feeling restless or anxious, those could be clues. Those could be your inner wisdom waking you up, saying, hey, pay attention to what's going on here. So not everybody's on a spiritual mission. I think that some of us are solidly on that mission, others are wavering, but I think everybody does have a spiritual purpose in life. Here's my definition of a spiritual mission. It's the strong internal determination to heal our wounds and our past so that we can get organized and be healthy enough to help others on their path. A spiritual mission is a driving force. It compels us to do things and to say things that come from our heart. And it drives us to address our wounds and also to be compassionate for those others who have their own wounds. Most of us are wounded in one way or the other. And it prevents us from getting too dependent on hard drugs, alcohol, and other harmful substances. It's like a little checkpoint saying, oh, don't go past there. And then if we're on a spiritual mission, we intuitively seek out our own information and we look for ways to lift our personal vibrations. So there's a lot of study and research that goes into a typical mission. It motivates us to learn from our choices so we don't have to keep making the same mistakes forever. And our spiritual mission requires us to situate ourselves so that we can contribute to others. If we're always scrambling for our daily bread or we're always running behind, we normally can't be very helpful to other people. There's like this inner nudge to help us prevent further destruction of Mother Earth. That's a big part of it. We often pray for those in need, and we seek ways of connecting to the divine, to the Creator, however we perceive that, whether we have a religious practice or we're on a spiritual path or we just commune with nature. Whatever we choose as our path to the divine, we are usually very connected to it. So here's some other interpretations of a spiritual mission. And this is found on a website called The Power of Oneness. I really like that. I'm going to read this to you. Spirit is the life force energy of unconditional love that connects all of creation. The root word of spirit is the Latin word spiritus, which means breath. I recommend going to this site to check it out for yourself. The last two lines of this definition really appeal to me as well. It also helps us to realize there is no such thing as a non-spiritual being or person, because spirit is the breath of life. It is an innate part of who we are at the deepest level of our being. I think that's beautiful. So religion, according to the same source, a definition here, is a social structure created by humans based on a system of beliefs, attitudes, and practices. Now, many of these beliefs include believing that the inspiration came from our Creator. That's fine. So, according to the 2010 statistics on Wikipedia, at the time I did this research, these were the figures. Christianity makes up about 31.5% of global religions. Islam is 23%, and some sources say that Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. Hinduism, 15%, Buddhism, 7%, and unaffiliated, 16.3%. So why am I giving you those figures? No particular reason, just to get a picture of our topic. So that's religion. There can be a lot of different spiritual missions within any of the context of those religions, or in the context of unaffiliated. This video is about your spiritual mission, our spiritual mission, if we look at it from the collective. And it's not based on any particular religious structure. I personally believe that humanity will have a better chance of surviving if we drop the wars and the greed and all the struggles over whose God is the right God. I think we could join together and look at what's happening to our planet, what's happening to human beings, what's going on with the wealth disparity in the world, and start looking at how can we make this a planet that works for everyone. Now, here are a few perspectives on religion, and there's no hierarchy here. This is an overview of where different people might be in their path and their relationship with religion. So a lot of people are neutral. They don't have any for or against perspectives of religion. And some people are actively rebelling. They may have grown up in a restrictive or suppressive environment, and they might be saying, heck no, I'm not going there. And then the unaffiliated, we'd mentioned before. Compliance. Now, this is where we might see the good in the religion that we're involved in, and we are adhering to the principles in the creed. We're complying with the goals and objectives of that religion. And that also comes into adherence. So compliance and adherence go together, but sometimes people nod, yes, I believe that, but they don't really practice. So adherence is more about practicing and questioning. You know, you might have been in a particular religion all your life, and maybe you're starting to question, do I really think that? And is this really for me? And then seeking, and that's where I am. I look for divine truth in many places. I respect all religions. Well, I have to take that back. All love-based religions. I completely ignore hate-based religions and devious approaches to life in the name of religion. I don't go there. But I am seeking. So where do you see yourself in all of this? Now, here are 25 signs that you may be on a spiritual mission. I'm going to go through these lickety-split. And the idea here is just to see if you resonate with this statement or not. And if you don't, doesn't mean you're not on a spiritual mission, but these are indicators. You've had the feeling that you're on a mission since you were a child. You may have had dreams and fantasies about saving the world. You might have had childhood superheroes like Mighty Mouse and Superman or Superwoman, those who are here to change the world and save the world. You might have had the urge to use your strengths to help others, rooting for the underdog, helping victims of abuse, or sympathizing with victims who've been bullied. You probably have a soft spot in your heart for animals and babies. You might have been hurt as a child and are still finding ways to heal. You probably had to bite your lip a number of times to keep from crying in public. As an adult, you have more than likely gone into a helping profession, nursing, being a doctor, teacher, minister. Your universal compassion may have brought you into some pretty dysfunctional relationships because of that openness, that loving nature. Sometimes we have to back out of destructive relationships, even if we love those scallywags. And you've struggled with it a lot, but eventually you've become capable of saying no when appropriate. Your family might not get you. They might even think that perhaps you got mixed up in the nursery at the hospital. They might not be able to relate to you. And you feel independent of society, though deeply connected with all of humanity. You realize how important it is for you to take care of yourself and your family. Some people might call you an earth angel. You're capable of having and demonstrating compassion for those who've been rejected, even if their rejection could have been well-deserved. You're connected to nature, and you love animals. You're fascinated by all kinds of life, and it's more important to you to be in the game rather than worrying about who's going to win or lose. You don't even think about being named as the most valuable player. You're a team player. You follow your gut instincts, your internal messages and nudges. You may feel motivated in many areas of life and have difficulty carving out a long-term path forward. You might feel that you're unstable because your dreams and ambitions expand and morph rapidly sometimes. And you don't think you're better than others, and you might even have low self-esteem. You're almost surprised when you receive a compliment, and you do your best to meet others' expectations. Yet, you have to have an internal monitor to help you know when you've given enough. And you may currently be in one or more damaged relationships requiring healing. You are capable of waiting until all the parties are ready to heal. You don't try to force it on anybody. And you have an internal gauge that helps you know what's right and what's wrong. You don't need to listen to somebody else's moral code. So if you resonated with a number of those statements, could be an indication you are on a spiritual mission. Does it matter if you are or not? Does it matter if you even know what your mission is? No, not really, because your heart is going to lead you. Your intuition is going to guide you. Your everyday wisdom is strong and it's there for you. So a lot of the particulars don't really matter too much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening and participating in this video. If you'd like to chat, here's my email address. Feel free to contact me. I'm here to provide support. And please like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much. Blessings.